Spurs Bros, welcome to episode 8. We've got a lot to cover today. We're basically going to live react the game against the Jazz. Area 51, Stephon Castle and Victor Wembanyama led us to our fourth consecutive win. So we're going to go through that game. We'll talk about extensively the win against the Warriors from this past Saturday, gritty comeback win. So 3-0 over the past week, 4-0 our last four games. We'll look ahead to the upcoming three games, take a look at the NBA Cup standings, see how things are going there. We're going to check in on that Hawks pick. Jeremy Sochan, when is he going to come back to the lineup? Devin Vassell, should we trade him? Is he ever going to play again? As Stu will say, the best ability is availability. So we're going to get into some hot debates with that one. And again, guys, we really appreciate the support so far. It seems like our Spurs Bros audience is growing. So please continue to hit follow, hit like, retweet, subscribe, leave a 5-star review on all of our different channels. Spotify is just the Spurs Bros Podcast. YouTube and Instagram at Spurs Bros Pod, and over on X at Spurs Bros Pod. So give us a like, a follow, and if there's anything you want to see us cover or mention, let us know. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Let's get right into it. Episode 8.
Spurs Bros, episode 8. Ocho, how are we doing tonight?
Doing good, baby. We got dubs going on.
Yes, sir. Spurs Bros, for those listening, we did get our fourth win in a row as of this recording. We recorded on Tuesday night. We just played the Utah Jazz over in Utah. It was a cup game. We needed to win, and we pulled it out. It was our fourth win in a row, and I think that's the first time in 2 seasons that we've had a 4-game win streak. So that is amazing. Let's go.
Yeah.
And before we
Big
get into
time.
everything, and I know we have a lot to cover, we are also recording the week of Thanksgiving, and I would be remiss if I didn't say how thankful I am for each and every one of you and each and every one of our subscribers. We love you guys, and I love you guys. So,
guys.
Yeah, for real, the support has been huge. It's cool to see more people engaged. So thank you, everybody. Safe travels on the way to see your family and friends and watch the Spurs get a couple more dubs this weekend.
Yes, sir. So yeah, let's go. Let's just start with that Utah Jazz game. This will be a live reaction, our first basically live reaction ever, as a podcast. So any quick thoughts on this one?
We started off. Sorry, Tim. I was
about to say, Reagan, you were spot on with how we started out this game. You said Wemby looked like he was asleep, just getting out bullied for rebounds and stuff. During this 4-game winning streak, I feel like that's kind of happened a lot. And we've been turning it on in the second half. Third quarters have been amazing when that's been one of our Achilles heels the past couple seasons. So, they keep fighting. Obviously, I think CP3 and Harrison have a lot to do with that, especially Chris Paul. He's probably right by Mitch Johnson every time out, talking up the young guys. So, yeah, it's been cool to see them battle back every single game these last 3 games.
Yeah, everybody put me in a bad mood to start this game. Like the tip was sloppy. We should have gotten the tip, and then just missed rotations, lazy rebounding, back cuts, layups, giving up. It was infuriating. I mean, it was like 13-12 after the first few minutes. But we were lucky. Stephon Castle hit a couple threes to start. Wemby hit a 3. That kept us in it early. But if those couple threes don't go down, we're looking at a big deficit at home against the damn Utah Jazz, who I am tired of playing
I know.
also. But we did pick it up. We did figure it out. My one thought that not a lot of people are going to talk about this game is Blake Wesley had some good minutes tonight. I thought when the guys were asleep, Wesley came on with a lot of energy, especially on the defensive end, had a couple turnovers, steals, good finishes. He had a couple good passes. He did lapse a couple times, but I think Blake Wesley was a little bright spot for us. What'd y'all see?
Yeah, just like you guys said, it was a bad start. Slow. We were tired, have much energy. You could tell it's going to be one of those games off the rip when Keontae George has 4 threes in the first 5 minutes. Sensabaugh comes in. He has 12 points in 8 minutes. So it was just one of those games. And to Tim's credit, like he said, over the last 3 games, we fought hard to come back. And what I've noticed the most is over this last week. Last year, we wouldn't have won any of it. This would have been an 0-3 week. Last week against Utah, we were down 20 in the third quarter, came back and won at home.
Yep.
Against the Warriors, it was a tough game. Down in the third, came back and won, as Mitch said, our best defensive quarter of the year in the fourth. And then, tonight, it was one of those games that we wouldn't have won last year because they have those random guys going off. I know Keontae's good, but not Sensabaugh. And, we just found a way to win. Wemby was hitting shots. Steph was hitting shots. I'd like to think it's, just our young guys and stuff, but you do have to give a lot of credit to Chris and Harrison, they're for sure making a difference out there, having that veteran status to help calm us down and, get us back on track.
Yeah, and the young guys have been talking about that more and more over the last week or two. As we have started to stack up these wins, I feel like Keldon and Stephon Castle and Vassell, even though he's been out, they're in all their interviews, Trey Jones, they're all crediting
Everyone's
Chris Paul
praising,
and Harrison
yeah.
Barnes and talking them up, saying that their presence has been massive for our growth. So definitely give credit where credit is due.
Yep. To me, I saw exactly what y'all saw in the first half. I think there was a lot of that there. And you know what, dude? Stu, I think Sensabaugh lit us up the last game too. I seem to remember him going off on us in that third time we played him. Third time in 20 games we played him. Less than 20 games that we played this whole season.
I would love to see his stats from all the other games. Probably 2 points a game, 5 minutes off the bench. Yeah.
So, but either way, for us, for me, what I saw was in the first half, we also got out rebounded. They got a lot of second chance opportunities. And in the second half, we just flipped the script completely, especially in the fourth quarter. We got a lot of second and third chance opportunities. Are you raising your hand, Stu? Go ahead.
Why do you think we did better rebounding in the second half?
Because Zach Collins didn't play.
Zach, bench.
DNP in the second half.
What did he get? 6 minutes tonight? Yeah, didn't
Yeah,
get a
he didn't
lick
play in
of
the
the court
second
in the
half.
second half.
He didn't.
All right, keep
He
going.
looked terrible, but yeah, continue, Alec.
Interesting.
Sorry,
All right.
I just had to point it out.
No,
Bassey
that's a great
came in.
point. That's a great
Bassey
point.
came in, got some dunks, got some boards. All right, keep going.
And Bassey didn't have the best game ever compared to his last couple that he had, but yeah, he still made an impact and everything. But no, yeah, second and third chance opportunities. Harrison Barnes, a lot of tip outs. Julian Champagny, few tip outs as well. You had another dagger from Chris Paul. I texted y'all in the group. Thank you, Lord, again for Chris Paul being on our team. When he hits those daggers, those late shot clock sidestep over the big
that was
man.
That was kind of same against OKC. It was that same different spot on the floor, but same sidestep, and he kind of has that different comes off his shoulder instead of his normal. Yeah.
All that looked great. Defense as well. I mean, we've been talking about it, but I noticed. I think I remember texting y'all around the 3-minute mark in the third quarter, and Reagan, you're like, "Oh my gosh, we can't guard out there right now." And we're
close. I said we forgot what defense is.
We forgot what defense is. I think we gave up 92 points up until that point, and then the rest of the game, I think we gave up 27. So in 15 minutes, we gave up 27 points. We ratcheted up the defense. That was awesome to see. And I think part of that is that veteran presence. Again, Stu, like you said, I don't think that we win that game or it's as close going away in other years, right, compared to this year, right? I think we just handled business. We took care of business. We took pride, have been taking pride on the defensive end, which has been great, man. So
tonight, all these things went well, but what I think it really came down to was the combination of Wemby and Stephon Castle. And I don't know if I forget if we talked about it last week, but maybe the best duo nickname going on in the NBA right now, Area 51.
Yeah.
They killed, dude. Yeah, I think first half, Wemby had 24. I thought he was about to go for 50 again. He had 30 within the first minute and a half of the third quarter and cooled off. But Wemby had 24 in the first half, and Steph had 16 in the first half. They both, once we woke up after the first couple minutes, Steph, from the first second, he was money. He was aggressive.
Yep.
He mixed Walker Kessler. He was finishing over bigger guys. He tried to end John Collins' career later in the game. But I think both those guys on both ends of the floor set the tone, set the pace. Again, not from the beginning, but once they settled in, those two guys were the drivers of almost everything tonight. Chris Paul's thumb got a little banged up, so he didn't have that huge impact that we've seen the last couple weeks. He hit those timely shots, but yeah, I think those two guys is what drove everything. I think we're in really good hands.
Said, both ends of the floor. Crazy for a rookie to be playing defense how he does. Y'all tell me, way too early to be saying this might be the best two-way duo in the league?
Ooh.
Not right now, but in the next 2-3 years,
yes,
over JT and JB in Boston, over I guess Luka, Kyrie if Kyrie's still there. I don't really Chet Shea.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm taking our boys.
Yeah, two-way.
I'm taking our boys.
Chet and Shea, might be interesting, but I think Wemby's a better defender than Chet. That's me. I'm biased, and
I'm pretty sure Stephon's a better defender than Shea. I don't know. I don't think he's some
good
defender.
In steals last year.
Shea's pretty good, yeah. But I think Stephon definitely potential to be better than Shea on defense.
National media has taken notice too, though. These guys, like Kevin O'Connor specifically, was talking like, "Hey, these guys are going to lead in all defensive teams and top 5 defenses for the next decade." And they're a rookie and a sophomore, so everybody can already tell that Stephon Castle is the real deal. It gets me, the defensive guy. I like, my spidey senses are tingling. I'm loving it. Jeremy Sochan is back on the floor. Oh my God, it's going to be beautiful.
Speaking of defense, our defensive rating as of, I believe, after the Warriors game is 111.2, which is still good for 7th best in the NBA. And again, that is without Jeremy Sochan being on the floor as well. So, man, I'm super hyped about that. We are really starting to take pride. I think Pop's messaging from last season, Pop was talking about, no, this is going to be all about defense. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to be learning a lot, but they need to learn how to play defense and this and that. And we just couldn't guard a statue. But I think all of this finally honing in on it, and obviously having Wemby and having a couple other guys around Wemby to defend. What did I say from the first podcast? I said, no matter, I don't care who we put on the floor, this defense is going to be a lot better than last year's. And sure enough, it's top 10 in the league. So super hyped. Going back to the game before the Jazz, we played against the Warriors in a stunner game. Spurs edged out the Warriors 104-94. That was probably, I would say for sure, our biggest win of the year. We came back, as you mentioned, Stu, we came back late in the third quarter. I think we were down 17 at our worst and made a gritty comeback and sealed the deal late game, man. Warriors were on a back-to-back, but Steph, Draymond, Buddy Hield, and Andrew Wiggins, they all played. And Keldon was sitting. Devin did not play. We'll get into that in a second. And Jeremy obviously remained out. But anything else from y'all?
Just a gutty win. I loved watching that. It was frustrating to, watch that deficit balloon. But the determination that the guys showed to come back and pull that out was awesome. Stu already said once this pod, and we've been talking about it all week, the Spurs of last year and 2 years and 3 years ago are not winning that game.
Yep.
They're not coming close. That's a 20-point blowout. Hang them up early fourth quarter. Try again next time. But no, we've got the confidence to go out there and get back in that game, compete, play our ass off, and come out with a W in a big time spot. So it was a prideful game for me. Third win in a row against the number 1 seed in the Western Conference with Steph and Draymond and all those guys playing. It was awesome.
It's one thing to come back from a deficit against a team like Utah, but to do that against the Warriors with Steph and Draymond and Steve Kerr, who's been their coach forever, that was really cool to see. And watching, we've already praised Castle a lot, but to see his defense on Steph Curry was awesome. And we talked about it after the Lakers game, how LeBron made sure to go over to Steph after the game and talk to him. I noticed Draymond kind of did the same thing after the Warriors game. And, it's really cool to see him getting respect this early in his career from 2 of these great players in the NBA who, even Draymond can clown around sometimes. I mean, they're 2 of the most respected guys in the league. So, Yeah, that's really cool to see.
Maybe he saw LeBron do it and he said, I got LeBron did it. So
I was about to make a comment about that. You've been seeing that, right? How Draymond wants to hang on LeBron's coattails and he's just kind of riding it.
It's that picture from whatever party it was when they both got the Lobos tequila in their hand and the shirts are unbuttoned. Draymond looks in love like he's trying to, dance at the prom with LeBron. It's so funny.
Yeah. No, but you're right, Tim. That Stephon Castle was an absolute menace on defense. The viral clip that's been going around is that sort of late in the game, Steph Curry trying to help make the comeback, force the comeback. He already made a really deep 3 to sort of keep him in the game, but it was off of I think our made basket or maybe a miss. Steph comes around, he's driving out full court and he's trying to get a quick 3 pass, comes off of a screen from, I don't know who it was, Wiggins or Draymond or something, and Stephon Castle was all over him all the way down the floor. I'll try to show this clip for those who didn't see, but if you're a Spurs fan, if you're a true Spurs bro, I'm sure you've seen the clip. So that was all night, man. That was all night. He held him to just 14 points, which was incredible.
I will say, Alec, the clip that you're talking about, the possession when Castle was following Curry around at the end there. As I pull this clip up just to watch it on my own screen, I'm not going to share it, but we hit a free throw. Harrison Barnes hits a free throw. We're up 8 points with a minute left. How many times over the last decade have we seen Steph Curry get the ball inbound, run down the court, run around for 12 seconds at full speed and get a clean look, cut it to 5, and then do the same thing 2 more times, they tie it, go to overtime, win the game? We've seen that so many times, it feels like it's just inevitable. But Castle clearly watched the film.
Yep.
He paid attention. He was aware in that situation was huge. And like you said, dude, he followed him around. And what the most impressive part of that was when Curry gave the ball up, that's when everybody relaxes and that's when Curry gets away.
Yeah.
But as soon as he gave that ball up, Castle knew exactly what was coming and matched him step for step coming back off the next dribble handoff to not let the three get up. So again, it's the poise you're talking about, which is so fun to see.
Yes, sir. The recently turned 20-year-old had 19 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, that one clutch steal toward the end of the game as well. He missed he airballed a shot, midi jump shot, and came right back down and had a nice clutch steal. And then a lot of big plays that just is not going to show up in the box
Yeah,
score
he just makes winning plays. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
He just finds, if he's not doing it scoring, he'll do it defensively, get boards, get assists. He just finds ways to make his mark in the game always. That's signs of a fantastic player.
Yep. And I wrote this down after the win against the Warriors. He had a big game against the Jazz. Someone can probably look up his box score there. But in his last 9 games as a starter, he's averaged 15.3 points a game, 5 assists, 2.8 rebounds. And he's bumped up his 3-point percentage dramatically since the start of the season. He's shooting a more respectable, very respectable 35% from beyond the arc in that time span. So can't say enough about him. Wemby, he also played his butt off again as well. 25 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 blocks and a steal. Although he did have 4 turnovers again. But I'm not going to nitpick again. I won't nitpick again. He just kills it, man. And Mitch Johnson even said he had the best quarter that he's seen him. He looked like a grown man. He had 12 points or something in the fourth quarter. He had 2 huge blocks in the fourth quarter. He was killer. That's the all generational talent that I was looking to see. I know is in there. He knows it's in there as well. I wanted to bring up Harrison Barnes. I was going to say, you know what, dude? Harrison Barnes hasn't gotten any love, man. Like, he's just been this consummate pro that's been on our team, just continues to show up. He doesn't miss any games. He's just stays healthy, although he did kind of bang his knee at the end of the game. Tonight, he still finished out the game fine. He doesn't miss games, makes little plays, big plays, tip outs, whatever you need him to do. And he had a killer last 3 games. I was going to shout him out, give him some love, but it turns out the NBA wanted to give him some love by giving him Western Conference Player of the Week. So congratulations, Harrison Barnes. Well deserved, my friend.
Yeah, big time. It was cool. Keldon came on the radio on the plane, I think yesterday when it was announced. He said, I got to make an announcement. And that's when that's how the news broke and the whole plane went nuts for him. It was cool. And Barnes is like, dude, he's such a Spur. He's just sitting there in the corner like with his hood on. He's
chilling.
Like, yeah, he didn't even like say anything. He just like smiled and was like, okay, cool. Like, thanks guys. But it was a cool little clip.
Well deserved from the guy. Now, do you think, given how he's played and because of his age, he's 32 years old, do you think we sign him again? Do you think we try to keep him for the next few years? I know Chris Paul might be probably done after this year, but what about Harrison Barnes? Y'all think we try to keep him and just try to maintain a little bit more of that vet presence? And
he was on a 2-year, right?
I think
don't we have him next year?
For next year too.
Okay.
It's really quick.
I mean, he's only 32. The way he's playing and how you just said he's a Spur, his attitude, everything.
Right.
I'm down to keep him till he's 36, 37. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Even if the next couple years he doesn't have as big a role as our young guys get better, but he could be a perfect bench guy or stay in the starting lineup, be 3 and D, do his thing out there. Yeah, I love Harrison.
Cool.
Yeah,
He's
under contract next year. I'm definitely down to keep him for at least one more year. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I agree, Tim.
And maybe the best move in Brian Wright's tenure, we got him and a first-round pick just for nothing, just to get him off someone else's books.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was an RC move, but we'll give Brian a little credit right now.
Technically, it wasn't nothing. I was on Twitter today doing some deep dives into this, and Roquan Gray was like a two-way player that technically was given up. Raquan Gray. He played 3 games last year for us. The Bulls waived him after the
We
trade. He's
gave
in
up
Greece
Raekwon?
now.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, are you
What?
kidding me? What? Yeah.
For Harrison? That is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. Sacrificial lamb,
Oh
Raekwon
my
Gray.
Lord.
Thank you for your service, sir. It was funny when I looked him up to figure it out. The one picture that I found was him playing against the Pistons last year with Malachi Flynn defending him.
Dude,
So,
I've never heard that name in my life.
yeah,
I'm
I
not
think
even kidding.
he lives in Austin.
I think out of all of this podcasts on Earth, I think we mentioned Malachi Flynn more than any other podcast on Earth. There's
Yeah,
no other
Malachi,
person.
if you wanna come on a pod, we got you, bro.
Malachi's going to be our first guest. Mark
There you
our
go.
words.
There you go. Again, great win, gritty win. Now we're kind of going backwards though. Before that, we won against the Jazz, and then before that, it was the Thunder, which we recorded a podcast during that game or after that game, which was an awesome win. So, man, you love to see it. We're playing great basketball. I'm so excited again. Like I'm really looking forward to sitting down and watching games again. It's fun. This part is fun. Even if we don't win them all, it's been exciting to watch.
And what do y'all notice about us winning right now? About our team? Do y'all notice anything?
We've got some guys out.
What?
A couple of guys are out.
What's the best ability?
Availability.
It's availability. And who's never available?
I know what you're going to say.
Who's never available in the last 3 years of basketball?
Dude,
Making an astonishing
Joel
30-something mil a year. San Antonio Spurs, 24 years old. Devin Vassell.
Oh, my gosh.
What are we doing, guys?
Oh, my gosh. You better.
He's played 3 games this season?
Yeah. Make your case. All right. Make the argument.
I'm all ears, Stuart.
I was already completely right about him not being a starter. We cannot ever put him in the starting group if he's not going to be available. That's just a fact. That messes up everything, rotations, everything. You can switch out rotations for a bench guy. We're seeing it with Zach, Mamu, whoever. But you can't do that for a starter. So I already think if he keeps this injury prone by how he always is, he'll never be a starter again for us. But he could be a great player off the bench for us. As I've already talked about, be that Manu for the years to come. And imagine we do keep Cullen. Jeremy's hurt right now. If we don't want to bring him back into our start, imagine that second group. Literally, basically our starting 5 for the past couple of years: Trey, Devin, Keldon, Jeremy, and Zach, Mamu, whoever. That'd be a pretty sick backup group. But best ability is availability. The kid's never available. We got to do something about it. Trade him while he still has some value. Do something to him. I just don't get how he can be 24 years old and be this injury prone. It's pretty bad. He hasn't even entered his prime yet. It's not good. Not looking good, boys.
So you think this might be a recurring thing for future?
Might be.
I know it has been.
I'm a man of the facts. The facts are he's never available.
Okay, well, how about this though? Go ahead, Tim.
Is it the same knee that's always bothering him? Because if it is, then obviously that is.
Well, it was his foot last year, and that's what he had surgery on.
I think it's the same leg, and it's always just his knee, his thigh, his calf, foot.
Yeah.
So, but that leg is just fucked. I don't know what to tell you.
Could be an imbalance in the body or something, man. Maybe he just needs to go to some chiropractor, fix him up, man. Just balance out his body or something. But
Stuart's been on our ass about this for the last week, and watching the game tonight, they panned to Vassell for a second, for like 10 seconds, and he was just sitting there kind of like spacing out. And I was like, for the first time, I'm like, get on the damn court, bro. Like, get on the court, get back healthy, figure it out.
Now,
and I haven't been on his case this whole time, but Stuart has brought this to our attention, and I feel like I've taken notice. I'm starting to see some rumblings on Spurs Twitter. Like, it's starting to take hold, because as we get better and we win more games, that's supposed to be an important piece, and he's not there. And imagine what we could be with him on, but it keeps being this imagine.
It's always imagine, exactly.
Yeah. And
so imagine what maybe we could trade for him while he still does have this value.
I don't want to be the guy to say, let's go trade him right now, because I still think he's got a ton of potential. But if he goes through the whole year like this, and he's playing 30 games this year, then it becomes a real conversation. And
because he's at 3 games through 19. So I mean,
Yeah, I don't want to be quick to cut bait on him though, because he has been here for our toughest years as a franchise in the past 30, and he's been loyal and he's helped, maintain the culture at least.
We're paying him good
But
money to be loyal. Be loyal, my ass.
facts. But okay, would
He's
you
our
rather pay him
highest
or
paid
Zach
player.
Collins?
Well, we did pay Zach Collins.
All
We're
right.
paying Devin a lot more, but same contract. Who would you rather keep?
I was gonna say here are two things, which is for the longest time, definitely before this season and even last season, everybody had it out for Keldon Johnson. He needs to be the one. He should be on the chopping block. He needs to get out of San Antonio. And Keldon's just like been so loyal to San Antonio,
Yeah.
and he did transform his body, and
Yeah, he's
you know,
putting in all the work.
he
Yes.
put in all the work. But it's just really funny to see how literally everybody was just like wanted to get after Keldon, and now he's just been a solid, steady piece. Again, he Keldon is Keldon, brings that energy and everything.
I
feel
think
like
he's
this
finding his
role,
way. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
exactly right. I think he's finding his way a little more off the bench instead of being a starter. It's a little more pressure in the NBA. He comes in with less pressure, just kind of gets to play freely off the bench, and it's really starting to help him a lot. You can see it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's way easier to be that spark guy off the bench than a spark guy as a starter expecting to score 18 to
Right.
20 a game.
Right.
Like you said, the pressure, the expectations, the limelight is less, and I think that suits his personality on this team more. So
Yeah.
I think he can fit into that role a lot better. And if we're only expecting him to be a sixth or seventh man, hell yeah, love you, Keldon. But as our third scoring option, that's when it was running into difficulty.
Yeah,
Either
that was
way.
the problem the last couple of years when we were so bad. He had to be one of our leading scoring options. And he came in as a rookie. That's that same rookie class. Remember, we drafted Luka Šamanić over Keldon, and he was a big bust. And whenever Keldon finally got playing time his rookie year, he came out guns a-blazing, the energy, he got that Team USA experience, and I think we got our expectations a little too high. And yeah, like you guys have said, he's finally found his role. I much prefer him coming off the bench, and yeah, that's what he is now. He's going to be a six-man type guy. I guess his contract doesn't look that bad. Like, last year we were kind of like, man, he's making 20 mil a year, whatever. But contracts are getting so high that it's not that
Yeah.
bad. He's just available most of the time, and he always gives you, that spark off the bench. And defense might not always be there, but he's gonna bring his bulldog mentality. So yeah, love Keldon for
It's
sure.
been there this year, though. I mean, like like tonight, he had a couple of nice big plays, big stops. That was part of that third quarter ratcheting up on defense. That was cool to see.
Tim, so are you still under the impression that I'm talking about trading the kid? You're talking. Are you still under the impression that Devin should be a starter when he comes back?
This year, I mean, we talked about it last week about how I think I said I can't see Stephon not starting anymore, and I feel even stronger about that now. Like, I don't think you can take him out of the
He's
starting.
literally averaging what 16 to 20 now. Yeah.
When Jeremy comes back, he's a starter. I think Harrison should stay a starter. So, yeah, you might be right about this year, but going forward, if we keep Devin, which I assume we will, I think he'll be a starter long term.
But that's how you win an argument right there, Stu. It's called the anchoring bias. We should trade his ass. And then you come back on the other side and just try to anchor them. You anchor them so far this way that you're now saying, all right, Tim,
now
would you
have
at
all
least
y'all
give me,
green.
yeah, would you at least put him off the bench? And now everyone's like, I guess now you're kind of right. That's funny, Stu. Good job.
3 weeks ago, I was absolutely nuts for saying he should be off the bench. Yeah. Now, dude, now we might trade him, but at least put him off the bench. Yeah.
You look like a visionary now.
But what the second thing I was
gonna say,
Go ahead.
wait. Before we get off of this, with Keldon, I just had the parallel that I just drew. He's a Derek White light. Derek White was asked to be a top two, top three option for us for a couple of years when we were terrible. He was overextended. The expectations were too high. People were like, Derek White sucks. Everybody outside of San Antonio was like, he sucks. I think we all knew that he didn't suck. He was just way too much on him. But look, we trade him to Boston. He settles into a fourth, fifth, sixth option on any given night. He can go for 20 if it's the right matchup. And he just played a pivotal role in a championship winning team. He also came in as a, late first round pick got that Team USA experience, settled into a lesser role where he still had the ball a lot, but could be a leader, team
Mhm.
guy, culture guy in Boston. He's done fantastic, and the whole nation knows who Derek White is now. He's got a freaking beer with Sam Adams for crying out loud. So is Keldon Johnson on the
Chill.
Derek White path?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean Derek's a better shooter, I think, but yeah, that's
Yeah, he
that's
is
a
a
really
better
interesting
shooter.
that's an interesting comparison.
Dude,
Interesting
literally
comparison.
earlier today, Reagan, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking if this was like the soccer world or football world in Europe, 'cause you know how they do it, they all like flip their players, they bring them up through the academy
Yeah.
cheap, and then they sell them for a shit ton. We would be like the richest team in the world if we, you know, with all our guys that we brought up over the years, Simmons, as you just said, freaking
True.
Derek, yeah, we would have done it so many times. It's incredible, but it's
Why?
not how it works. Yeah,
Oops.
but
Yeah.
either way, that's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
that. I was
sorry.
thinking
You're
about it. I was
Devin?
talking to
like,
me, man.
that's crazy. Yeah, how we've brought up players.
Devin Vassell? Oh, yeah. About to be? No, I'm kidding. So, look, the last thing I was going to say about Devin was Mitch Johnson has been out there defending him. Now, I don't know if he's defending him and trying to get in front of everything, but he's been defending Devin, saying, no, no, like this is part of the plan. It's going to be a slow ramp on. Yeah, it was, he had a foot surgery and then he had a knee injury, right? Which was weird, but it almost made it seem like, no, he's good to go. We're just trying to keep him, slowly ramp him up. I'm sure he's just as upset as we are. So do y'all take that to heart as well? I mean, seems like Devin could play. He's going to play tomorrow, according to Spurs sources, so he will be available against the Lakers. I mean, do y'all take that into account at all? Stu, does that go into your calculation at all? Maybe he's just being a slow ramp, and yeah, he had a little bruise, and so they're being overly
Just trying
cautious.
to help his case so people like us out there aren't talked about him. Don't want
All
to
right.
deflate his ego.
Yeah,
I see right through that crap.
I think that's Mitch Johnson flexing his head coach muscles and taking the blame, putting it on the team and the medical staff instead of the player, which is exactly what you should do for somebody like Devin Vassell. But why let Devin put it on the team, on the organ? It's us. We want to be cautious with our budding, scoring star, whatever, instead of putting that on Devin and adding to that pressure. Why would the head coach come in and say like, yeah, Devin's healthy. He should be on the court, but he's not. I don't know what the hell's problem is. Like that's not the play in the press conferences. So yeah, I don't necessarily put a whole lot of value on that, I guess. But I
I would just
do
love to
like the
see
move
Devin
from
come out
Mitch
and say that.
Johnson.
Come out and say, "Oh man, I want to go. You know, I got a week left till I can play. Do something." But when you're just hiding in the corner, then you got other people talking for you, making 35 mil a year. Not a good look.
Well, okay. So how about this then? Jeremy Sochan. I mean, Jeremy Sochan hasn't played, definitely not played a full season as well. I know he's younger than Devin Vassell is, but I mean, he missed 32 games in the 2022-2023 season, and he's already missed, 6 games, going to be out till at least Christmas time, maybe hopefully a little before then. What about him? I mean, nobody's talking about injury prone Jeremy, right?
Kind of a freak injury that fracturing your thumb.
Yeah, it's
Not worried about that.
Okay. All
and
right.
it's on his
Dang.
left hand. Not that he's a great shooter, but it's on his left hand. Devin is on his legs. He can't do shit without his legs. Jeremy
Okay.
could realistically, if it was the final series right now, Jeremy would be out there. I guarantee you.
Interesting. Well, I mean, okay, so that either way, that is the transition. I wanted to bring up the fact that we actually may see Jeremy Sochan in the lineup before Christmas, according to Spurs source Matt Tynan, who I've never even heard of before the season, and now he's just popping out of the woodwork, which is interesting.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen him in the last few years.
okay.
He's broken a number of stories and acquisitions and roster moves and stuff. I think he's pretty plugged in. I like Matt Tynan. He's a good follow on Twitter. But
Cool.
yeah,
All
go
right.
ahead.
There you go, Spurs Bros. If you're looking for other Spurs sources to follow, give Matt Tynan a follow. Either way, he said that we could possibly expect him back in the lineup before then. He's already doing one-on-one work, and according to somebody else, another source said that he's already dunking in practice. So it's good. You've seen videos of him working on the shot still, which still looks like a work in progress. But the fact that he's back out there and he's getting full workouts in, and doing one-on-one drills, that's amazing. So that would be interesting to see if we can get if we can get a full healthy squad by Christmas come game versus
Christmas
the
Day
Knicks.
game?
Yeah,
That'd be
that would
great.
be awesome.
Telecast. Yeah.
Exactly, the Mickey Mouse telecast. Does anyone have any updates or news on the cup? How are we doing? Are we going to make it to Vegas or not? I know that we had to win tonight, which we did. And I know that the Lakers had to lose to Phoenix, which is maybe still going on. If the Lakers win, then I think that maybe we were out.
Lakers
27.
lost by 27. Yikes.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
great for us
big
for
fat
a
L.
point
So in our
differential.
group, the Suns, us, and the Lakers are all 2-1. The Thunder are 1-1. They haven't played a third game yet, and the Jazz are 0-3. So tiebreakers here, I think first tiebreaker is head to head, and then second tiebreaker is point differential. I might have that backwards, but I think that's accurate. So three-way tie for top of the group here, West Group B with the Lakers and the Suns. We have the Lakers tomorrow. That is not a cup game. The next NBA Cup game is on Tuesday, December 3rd, a week from today, against Phoenix. So that game basically has the potential to decide the winner of the group and who goes to Las Vegas. I'm gonna have that one circled for sure. I'm sure the guys will too. Hopefully Devin's back and healthy for that. Hopefully Keldon's hammy stays good. Hopefully Chris Paul's thumb isn't an issue for next week. But yeah, right now we're pretty well positioned to control our own destiny to get to Las Vegas.
come
Would
on.
like to see the Lakers lose another game just to because they did beat us in that
Yeah,
cup game
they have
last week.
OKC, so they could lose.
We'll see. Right now, still a few games to shake out, but that game next Tuesday against Phoenix is a big one.
I'd like to say, other than the Jazz, I guess, but Vegas will probably mean the most to our boys, considering our contracts and our payroll compared to the other teams. So
Sure.
it would be sick to see us go. The boys would be playing their hearts out for 500K. Be awesome.
Yeah, getting half a mil for Bassie and Mamu and all those boys.
Yes, imagine
Absolutely.
seeing them
Riley Minix.
celebrate. Oh, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. On that note, we totally forgot Danny Green made his broadcasting debut in the game tonight. And what made me, yeah, shout out Danny Green. What made me think of that just now was Jacob Toby asked him, "Hey, do you think these cup games mean more?" And he was like, "Well, I don't think they mean more right now. It's definitely more excitement." I think that answer would be different when you're playing the games in Vegas and in that actual tournament setting. You know, if you clear pool play, yeah, I think that's going to mean something.
Totally. Well, I mean, you saw with the Lakers last year. I mean, they looked like they freaking wanted it. I mean, LeBron,
They hung a banner.
Yeah, they hung.
Yeah.
They hung their
Yeah.
own banner. Yeah, LeBron made a big deal of it. We're the first one. He didn't make a big deal of it, but he was somebody else
Kinda.
on Twitter was like, or the
league
first.
did.
Yeah, the league did. Well, we'll see. We'll keep the Spurs Bros updated on that. One of the other things that came up is Dan Weiss, who is familiar to the Spurs telecast. Dan Weiss has been fill-in for our team whenever, maybe Sean Elliott can't make it or whatever. Dan, he's been doing some Danalytics, really interesting. And he said Spurs, quote unquote, taking care of business checklist so far this year. We are 8-3 at home. Awesome start. 4-0 in rest advantage games. 9-2 when leading by 10 plus. 9-2 when leading in the fourth quarter, and 5-1. This should be 6-1 now versus below 500 teams, which is all, again, we should have mentioned this earlier in the podcast, but it all speaks to just growth for our team. And Stu, like you mentioned, that is real growth. That is a real before and after effect right there from a team that's really starting to find its identity and come into its own.
So it's a mark of a good squad. And I think it all goes back to CP3, Harrison Barnes setting the standard and kind of showing these guys, this is how you win these types of games that you should win based on the talent on this roster. And like those rest advantage games, like you can say whatever, doesn't resonate, but if a team's coming off a back-to-back and you've had a night or two of rest, you should go win that game, home or away. And we've done it. We're not giving up many fourth quarter leads. We're beating the bad teams on our schedule pretty handily. So all those things being a good clip right now is what's led us to be 10-8 so far. So we got to keep that up. And the next evolution is beating those top tier teams like the Warriors. So more of that, please.
And the Thunder, like we did last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we do a Hawks update? They are on a 3-game losing streak right now.
See, that's more
The
juicy.
Hawks are bums.
We were waiting for that.
Hashtag.
Hashtag
yeah.
The Hawks are bums, baby. I'm
I
throwing
think
that out
Trey's
there on
been
Twitter left and
playing,
right.
Yeah, he's been playing.
Hell yeah.
Dude, they
He
did.
is.
The Hawks just got fined $100,000 because they said that Trey Young sat out a game that he could have played in. But put on your tinfoil hat. Somebody did some research, and I think Trey Young just had a baby girl, and the baby girl was born the night before the news of the fine came out. So it looks like potentially he got fined 100 grand for not playing in a game the same night that his baby girl was born. Now this is on Twitter. This is unfounded, unfact checked. But
Yeah.
again, it's possible that he got fined 100 grand for being there for the birth of his daughter versus a regular season game November.
That'll
So
make the NBA look real bad.
terrible press for Mr. Silver if that's true. But anyways, I don't really care. The Hawks are bums.
Oh, hashtag the Hofstra bump. Wait, dude, that's actually way more juicy than last week's news.
Yeah, so they're 7-11 right now, and that whole second half or like bottom 10 of the Eastern Conference, if you want to call it that, is all bunched up right now. So literally when they were 7-10, they were like still like in the playoff mix, and now they're all of a sudden seventh best odds on Tankathon. So it's probably going to be like that most of the year. So I think it helps with the weekly check-in. So
Okay, a debate topic for the night, which is, would y'all trade? This is just completely hypothetical. Would y'all trade Chris Paul to OKC for their pick swap with Philadelphia from Philadelphia? And that pick swap is top 6 protected, by the way. So would y'all do that? Would y'all make that trade? Yes or no?
No,
No.
I don't know
in a
why.
word.
I don't think OKC would do that.
Yeah, I don't think
They would do
OKC
that?
would. They're all about the young talent right now.
Dang. I think you're well, all right. I think you're probably right.
I would trade it. Yeah, I would if OKC would.
Okay.
I-
Why?
Again, we
I
only have
wouldn't.
Chris this year.
I wouldn't. And my reason for why I wouldn't is, I mean, going into the season, we didn't know how we were actually going to shape up. Like maybe we're a top 5 pick again. Maybe Chris Paul is washed. Maybe Harrison Barnes isn't going to have that big of an effect. Maybe, Steph Castle is, just an average pick. But all of those things have panned out really well. If we're positioned to go make a run at the playoffs and have Chris Paul be our starting point guard in a couple of play-in games in a first round series, I absolutely want him there. As much as I think Stephon Castle is the, point guard of the future for us potentially, if I can get Chris Paul to continue this level of play into that late season run, I 100% want it. And it's fun to make fun of the Sixers right now, but Embiid and Paul George, if they get any semblance of health, they're gonna improve. The East is trash, and more teams, as they're hanging around 500, are gonna flip the switch and be sellers and try to tank. I think the Sixers don't have that luxury to go do that because they don't have this pick potentially, and Paul George isn't going to want to miss the playoffs and sit around for a tanking team and watch Jared McCain go for 30 a game. I think that's going to change. So my personal thing is no, but
Okay. So you
You know
basically
what? You made me completely flip my. That was a great take.
there you go.
I
Argue
agree.
for it.
I wouldn't trade him anymore. Assuming we continue on this pace, if we're still around 500, a little above, a little below, and by then we'll know for sure if we'll be able to make a run at it or not. I'll definitely want to keep him
if we're
around then.
30
But
and
if we
27 at
yeah,
the
I'm keeping
All-Star
him.
break, yeah, or
But
at the trade deadline,
if we're God forbid 15 and 35, then it's like okay, let's take our shot at this
yeah,
draft.
yeah.
Okay.
But
If
obviously,
we're
yeah,
20
that's
and
not
40,
going to
yeah.
happen. Not going to happen. We are going to be around 500. So I would say, you know what, keep him. Let's ride it out. And if we make a run at it, well, obviously we'd want him there, all his playoff experience. We want Harrison there with us. Yeah.
Okay.
Good
There you go.
take, Reagan. You flipped me.
There you go.
Appreciate
And
it.
yeah, and that was basically my reasoning as well, right? And
But Alec, I do
Tina.
remember like episode 1 or episode 2, we floated this idea, like, is Chris Paul going to be here in March? And it
Yeah.
was like definitely a possibility in our mind at that time because we didn't know how things were going to look. So totally valid question. I just think if this keeps up, there's no reason to make the trade. He's on a
Yeah.
1-year deal.
Definitely. And by the way, Tim, you jumped to the back of the book, like I like to say, which is like that would never happen. Like OKC wouldn't even do that, which I completely agree. But thanks for entertaining, folks. So
Yeah.
there you go.
I think it's as simple as it depends on what our record is at the trade deadline. If we're in the play-in mix, we keep him. If for some reason we digress and start losing a bunch of games, I'd feel bad for Chris Paul if he had to maybe spend the last year of his career on a team that's not going to make the playoffs. So,
Are we all assuming this is his last year?
well, no, It could be, but no, it doesn't have to be.
The
Could
way
be,
he's
but I
playing,
mean,
the way he's looking
yeah.
right now, he hasn't. Oh, I don't think he's missed a game, has he? Has he missed a game yet?
Nope, I don't think so.
I'm not gonna weigh in
She-
on that side of things because I don't want to jinx it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see. You're
Yeah,
right.
we
Good
talked
point.
about that early on in the pods, Al, that every year he has some lingering injury, he goes out for something. So he's been healthy so far. Let's keep it up.
But
Keep it that way.
he kind of looked lean down. He didn't look as stocky coming into the season. I could be wrong, but it looked like he looked pretty sharp. I don't know.
I,
Whatever.
I think it's all part of really taking on that mentor and tough guy role too. He wants to show the guys, dude, I'm 40 years old. I'm playing. Like he has that thumb injury. He could have sat, but he's not. He probably could
Right.
have sat tonight. There was that one play where he jammed and he like had to
Yeah,
stop playing and
Yeah.
he was holding
That's
his hand.
good.
Yeah, so it's obviously still hurt.
He got
But
retaped after that too. Like
oh,
they put
yeah,
another layer of tape on it. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so he's definitely playing through it. But I think he's showing the guys too, like, yo, this is the NBA. We make money to play a game. We're like show up, be professional, and you play through injuries. That's just my take. I think that's what he's doing. So
No,
I love
facts.
it.
I'm with you, Stuart. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Another debate topic. We thought about this right after we recorded our last one, and this was after the Wembanyama 50-point game. We were thinking about this. We're like, wow, he did that so fast in 26 minutes at 20 years old. What do y'all think about what happens first? Wemby surpassing Kobe Bryant's 81-point mark, or Wemby getting a quadruple double and getting the first quadruple double since the admiral David Robinson.
I would say it's pretty easily quadruple double because he
That's
already
right. Yeah.
almost had one last year. I think he was like one steal and 2 assists away from one last season. And 81 is, I mean, who's come the closest to 81? Is it 70, maybe 72?
Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker
Devin
had
Booker.
70
Yeah.
or 71 like over the past couple years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Embiid have 70 against us last year?
60 something, right?
60 something?
Might have been 70. You're right.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, might have been
It was-
70. And
yeah, it was
Wemby
a
had
lot.
a lot of points too. I think he had like 35.
Yeah, he had like a 30 and 15 game, but
Yeah.
Embiid like doubled him up. Yeah. I think I'm with you, Tim. I think it's like 81 is a freaking crazy number, and we've seen him heat up like a microwave. But at the end of the day, he's as a rookie, he almost put up the quadruple double. So I feel like that's coming. It's on its way.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time to be the first one. Yeah, since David Robinson to do that. So it's gonna be a crazy day when it happens. Can't wait.
Like
Stu?
it when it happens.
Just for the sake of
When it
argument,
happens.
I'm gonna go the 81. I think today's NBA and it's only getting faster and more shots being put up a game. I mean, I don't think it's anywhere close to it, but we saw a 50-point game in 26 minutes. If that would have been a close game and, God forbid it goes overtime too or something like that, I think it's today's NBA for someone to get that, to surpass the 81. It will have to be a game like that. But I mean, dude, Wemby's putting up 15 threes a game. What if he makes 10 to 12 of those? He shoots, makes 12 threes in a game, 10 threes in a game. Once he's a little more of a vet, he'll get a lot more calls, dude. Even tonight, he's not getting any calls. So, yeah, I mean, 20 free throws in a game, 10 3. I don't know. I could see either happening quite literally with Vic. Anything's possible.
So
He would have to play, like 40 minutes.
Right.
Be absolutely, I'd have
For
to.
sure.
Again, that's not going to happen. He probably told you in his prime. 8 years from now or something, Vic won't be putting up minutes like that. But
It's crazy that his prime is like 7, 8 years away.
I know it's
Yeah.
awesome to say, but also it'd have to be something where, Embiid probably last year against us, probably like Maxey was down or something. So like it'd have to be Wemby, because that's not Spurs basketball for anyone to ever put up that many points, because that'd mean he was just being a ball hog. But so in 5, 6 years from now, whatever, if we have a bunch of guys injured for a game, Wemby's out there just chucking up shots, they
Yeah.
start falling. Screw it.
I mean, there is some level of Spurs precedent to going out and getting yours on a night when it means something. Throwback to, again, the Admiral in 93 or 94, whichever year it was that he won the scoring title. He had to score 60-something points to
Yeah.
beat out
To beat
Shaq for the
Shaq,
scoring
yeah.
title that year, and he went for 73, I think it
Yeah.
was. He was shooting every shot and they were all going in, and the guys were just feeding his ass. Like, I think if it maybe, a situation like that where it's like, hey, go set a crazy ass record, I think the guys are going to feed him and absolutely just dump it down, kick it out, let him fire away. Alec, what do you say?
I say quadruple double. I think, but here's the thing. If you think about it, I mean, and Tim, you just bring up the stat. Yeah, he almost had one in his rookie year. He was, one block and 2 steals away or whatever from gabbing it. Then it's like, okay, well then, yeah, for sure. But if you really think about how hard it is to get that, like, it's so hard. Again, what we talked about, he had the triple double with blocks last year. And I mean, we saw how hard it was to get like 8, 9, and 10, or just like how weird things had to be for him to get 8, 9, and 10.
Everything had to fall into place perfectly.
Everything fell into place, and that's not including steals on top of that. Like,
I don't think he'll ever get 10 steals, but
yeah, if you're
he's just not getting anywhere close to even like 10 assists right now. He could easily, obviously, like already averages double points and rebounds, but yeah, the assists and blocks, I don't know. That's very tough.
Right. I don't know. I think that, and I think that also, if anybody would surpass Kobe's 81, I wouldn't want it to be anyone. I don't know. I'm very protective of the late great. Yeah, the man. So
anyone,
if it's going to be
but
anybody,
you're down for it to be Wemby.
I'm down for it to be him. Yes, of course, because that's Wemby over everything.
Spurs, yeah.
So yeah, Spurs, baby. So yeah, I do say still the quadruple double, the quad double. That's probably most likely. All right, well, to close us out, I want to chat about the upcoming 3 games. Like we mentioned, we play the Lakers tomorrow in our back-to-back. Lakers will also be in a back-to-back as well. We're playing at home. Then we have a rest up until Sunday. So hopefully the boys don't get too fat and happy over that Thanksgiving break and come out flat in Sacramento against the Kings. And then we play on that Tuesday, and we play that cup game against the Suns. So what do y'all expect? Do we stay on the heater? Do we come back next time and record and we're 7-0 in our last 7 games? Or do we drop 1, drop 2? What do you think?
We did say, Alec and Reagan, you guys said 3-0 last week, right? Right?
I think so. Yeah, I think I did.
We did have a couple 3-0 guesses, which obviously was spot on. I say we get some revenge against the Lakers tomorrow, win that one, and then maybe the Kings get revenge against us, and then I think we win the cup game. So I'll say 2-1.
Ooh, okay.
I'm with Tim exactly. I think we beat the Lakers tomorrow. They're an older group, back to back. We're younger. Devin's going to play, have some extra scoring to come in there. I think we do get too fat and happy, too many turkey legs on Thursday. A couple days off, we go out to Sacramento. We kind of play flat. Streak breaks after 5 wins, but then we get up big time for that cup game in Phoenix, and we take a win over the Suns.
I'm going to go 1-2. 1-2. I think we lose tomorrow. We get fat and happy over break, just as y'all are saying. I think Kings are going to beat us this time around, and then we'll win the cup game and make over to Vegas. But, we've been hot. Everyone has to come back down to earth. I don't see it. I'll be sick if we keep it up, but I think we lose the next 2, and then we beat Phoenix 1-2.
And I say we go 3-0. I say we do continue the heater. I say we absolutely do. I think Wemby wants revenge on AD after he bumped his leg. He had that flying knee into Wemby's knee. I think he's pissed about it. I'm pissed about it. So I hope Wemby is too, man. And as long as big caveat, if we just don't let D'Lo do freaking D'Lo thing. We talked about this after the fact that he's the worst type of player to play against, because he's going to shit the bed when it comes to the playoffs, but it's just random games throughout the season. Like he's liable to just go off for 25, 28, knock down some step back, fade away, dumb shit in your face.
Yeah.
He's like a Nick Young.
Yes.
Nick Young.
And so I'm like, that's a big caveat. If we can lock down someone like them, and then don't let whatever Dalton I hate to even mention that, a rookie getting hot and killing us. I think we go ahead and win the game. Kings, I think we're gonna solidly win that one. I think Suns gonna be a tight one, so it'll be close. We'll be battle testing a couple of them, but I think we're gonna come out 7-0, assuming we all stay
next
healthy.
Week and we're 13-8.
13-8.
Holy!
And we're still like the 9th seed for
in the West.
Yeah. So
of course.
There you go. We'll end that on my on my optimistic take.
Steph
Boys,
Castle is number 4 in the NBA.com's latest Rookie of the Year ladder. So he's climbing a little bit.
you
Side
go.
note there.
We'll talk more about that next pod, that's for sure. Hopefully, I mean, he should keep going up. I
Hopefully
mean, he had
coming off
another
a great
Big night
week.
tonight. Yeah.
23 points again tonight. So, I mean, assuming he continues to maintain that pace, come on, top 3, why not? Why not him? Heck yeah, guys. I love it. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, I'm grateful for you guys because this has been so much fun. But beyond that, we're grateful for each and every listener. Literally, we are mind blown every single time that we get some random subscriber that we don't know, or a follower on Instagram, Twitter, or whatever it is. Like we're humbled. I mean, we're just, 4 dudes talking about Spurs, which we love. But we are grateful that y'all want to listen along as well and think that we're entertaining enough to offer a good enough take here and there. So we're grateful for you guys. Love y'all. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. And from the Spurs bros, go Spurs, go.